Hi, this is Jing Li. So I'm gonna talking about my final project about 51990 directed study. So for this project, I've read a couple articles related to dual language immersion settings, and what I'm gonna talk about equity, race, academic language, as well as my identity of dual language immersion. So here are the articles. In Parma and Debron wrote it that dual language education is often learned for providing high caliber bilingual instruction in an integrated classroom. However, only some Latino students and almost no Black students are included in the dual language program. Um, last semester, I was teaching in a private school settings. And in these private school settings, I only have very few students. I have three classrooms. Each classroom, I only have 4 to 6 students. Maximum number is 6. Minimum number is 4. So I was providing a mini lesson. I was providing my lessons to a very mini tiny classroom. Um, all of my students are white students, and there are except 2 students are from Asian, and they were adopted by American family. So I can barely see any white and Latino in showed up in my classroom. And look up to last year, I was teaching in a dual language immersion elementary school, and in that school, I can see like 90% students are from white and Asian, and the rest 10% students are from Black. And almost all the parents were talking about that they really like the school is being diversity, and I was surprised because in my mind the 10% is not really diversity. So the second quote I want to talk about is they also talking about the project of two language two language im, two language immersion settings up becomes merely one of offering enrichment foreign language immersion to middle and upper classes white children, and which means it will be a lost opportunity for transformation. And it definitely shows what I've seen last semester. So all of my students are from upper class. So their parents are either CEO of company, doctor, or lawyers, and every students they just from a very rich family, and I don't think this gonna benefit for our society. I think all the rich students are gonna get better education chance, which will solidify the social class, and at the end, we will still see the white kids are still rich, and they'll still stay at the upper class. But our goal for providing dual language immersion is for providing students some equal learning chances, and build some way for students to achieve certain academic achievements. But I don't think in this way it's gonna work. The third thing I want to share is about um um this also talk about it is not enough simple to bring in the middle class, and they are trying to talk about how do we do to provide some better solutions for this situation. So in my opinion, that dual language immersion should be designed to provide students with a multilingual environment. Like what I've experienced in the school last semester, the students are being provided with Chinese and Latin, Spanish, French, those all different language environments. And race issues can have a big impact on the course. Therefore, I think it is important to provide an environment for students with multilingual backgrounds in teaching. Um, we uh, we are trying to provide students an equal place for them to study and for teacher to teach. In another article, Lee shared that the Department of Dual Language provide teachers and administrators with specific guidelines for allotting instructional time across English and the partner language, and the time spent in each language on the core subjects of language arts, math, science, and social studies in each school days. So what I've experienced in the dual language immersion setting is teachers are assigned to teach all the subjects except specialists like gym, art, music, science. Besides these four, students are being using target language to learn, and the teachers are being using target language to teach. Um, but in the classroom that I experienced last semester, students get to learn all the other subjects in English except Chinese, and Chinese is the only subject they're being learned in the Chinese language. That's their target language. And Lee also shared that they found out that in the two-way programs, there are strong adherence in party language use among the observed teachers in two-way programs. Um, Last semester, I found out that teachers target instruction language are only like 50%, and the rest 50% are partner language. It's a little different than this one, but I think it is slightly different from but yeah, it's slightly different from this. But I think in the non-immersive class where students have no language background, students might get the language they need in this mode because they don't have much background. If it's like 100% and the rest of the time they are being learning in English language, I think that will give them a tough time. And Handy and Samina also share that generally one thinks of linguistic investment as a degree to which an individual is motivated to learn a language and how much time and efforts he or she puts into learning the language. So my school students are based on their own family needs and often learn Chinese for their future business purposes because most of them are from a rich family. So they want their children to have a better chance in the future, or their company has some um, collaboration with China, and they want their kids have very freely communication with those Chinese businessmen. So interestingly, there are some K to 6 students in my class that do not show a clear advantage over other students with no background in the daily communication of Chinese immersion students in the school. At first, I thought all the immersion students were gonna have a very good understanding in the AP class. However, at the end of the class, when we had the test, I found out that those students who studied in immersion settings, their test score is not as high as other students who has no background of Chinese, which is very interesting. And maybe because maybe um because of the setting is different, or maybe we are learning different kind of content of the language. But I think that's something interesting. So that's it. Thank you.